We are in South Scottsdale, coming to you live, week 1 of the Logjam. I got it ready for you. You ready for it? I love it. Get it going.
Welcome everybody to the Logjam, week 1 in the books. Tom Farrell, welcome to the Logjam.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Had a great week, and I might not have another one ever, so nothing's guaranteed. So I'm happy to be here to share it.
Well, it's great to have you. Week 1 in fact in the book. Some upsets, some big wins, some big scores, some low scores. Fellas, just give me your thoughts on week 1.
First of all, who's your daddy in the house? Cheers to that. Appreciate
Thanks.
you guys.
Coors Light, Tom. Thank you.
Coming out again. We send out the message that if you're in the area, you want to be a part of the pod, come out and say hey. And who's your daddy took us up on that, and that's bonus points, and that's going to get him more time with more love from the league. So stop on by.
I thought you said there'd be a check.
Yeah, but it's a small check.
Sorry.
It's like a lap dance.
It's actually half a Coors Light.
All right, thoughts on week 1? Pretty good week for some of us. Most, me in general, no, but for the most of the board up here, pretty good week. So,
did this side of the room win and that side of the room?
Yes.
I think that's kind of how it went. It's
Yes.
kind of like a Mason-Dixon line.
yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel great. Had a great week. Could have started anybody on my team, and I probably would have won. So the bench was solid. My team performed.
Do you guys all want to cheer with me that Ari lost?
Sure.
We'll go from cheers to jeers. I, for one, want to bring up again ESPN, man. There's nothing more clockwork than the ESPN app going down the first week of the season. You couldn't get on it. You couldn't log on. It's garbage. I don't like the app itself, but come on, guys.
They should almost have Jim Nance announce it. Hello, friends. We're here for another tradition like no other.
And it'll be 5 minutes before I can download any information for you or let you find your information. You get frustrated. That is.
And you know going into it, you have all these junkies, all these people waiting for it. Fantasy football has kept the NFL where it is on the top of the game for a long time.
Absolutely. It's a good call.
I get it. I get that it's free, but I don't think it would have been any better if we had their paid subscription.
No, not a chance, man. It's scary when you think about it. All these people trying to get online and not being able to have their stats. Like, there's people probably I don't want to say Tyreek Hilling their children or Adrian Peterson their children like you did your child this week, but
I did.
you know what I'm getting.
Figuratively.
Figuratively.
Yeah, so that's good stuff. I don't know. The league was awesome. The new divisions make it a little more interesting. We saw the Let's Go division go 3-2.
Let's go.
Congratulations, Tillman's 2-3. It's no good, but we'll get back to it. But I mean, what do you think of games? First of all,
I thought they went pretty much the way that I thought they would. I was a little surprised at the low scoring by some of the elders in the league. That was unusual, and I'm sure it's just week 1 jitters. They'll get it out of the way, and then they'll move on to better things. But it was really odd to see.
I mean, I think, the week 1 you see some things that you normally see, and some things kind of normal, like maybe an Ari loss. Some things that some things that you don't normally see, like Steve Faulkner.
Wow.
high points for the week and
Congrats.
a strong bench play as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Made for an exciting week 1 all around. There was some good battles. I don't know that anything was too tight that came down to Monday night that we were all watching, but just for an entry week 1, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Surprising things for sure. I have 2 quarterbacks if anybody wants to trade. Apparently available. Man, Steve Faulkner, holy shit. He seems like the fire stick right now in the league. Like, I am unfortunately about to play him this coming week, and I really wish I wasn't. But we all know, gentlemen, the magic number in this league is 7. 7.
Yeah.
Sometimes 6, depending on the weather.
Most of the time 6, actually. 6 is more than not, but 6 is not a guarantee. 7 is the guarantee.
Pretty much.
And there's going to be at least 2 teams that are 0-2 at the end of this next upcoming week, because we have that matchup of 0-1 teams in each division that I think is going to make it interesting.
One of which is Darren and I, for sure. I think when we're talking about Ari losing being a benchmark of the season. I think it's the Ari resorting to a fire sale as a benchmark, but this might be as early as we have seen it. Everyone's available. That's what makes the league fun for sure.
Yep.
Speaking of Faulkner being high points, I was low points for the first time in at least recent memory.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. I'm sure we could get the commissioner on the number and he'd spit it out like R2D2. But
maybe the Avengers will learn from this and maybe play his guys in the preseason a little bit so that this
get them
doesn't happen.
acclimated,
Get them ready.
get them out of Cabo.
It happens for sure, and you have to wonder: are these guys I picked long term going to play out, or is this a harbinger of things to come? Do I get a little nervous on the waiver wire? Who knows? Like it's tough to have that week and just say, I think it's regression is inevitable.
The first couple of weeks of the season are always a little iffy, right? You want to pull the triggers on some things. You want to maybe have like a weekly, like just a one nut, blue nut thing.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any reason for that. No.
Wasn't that a Dr. Seuss book?
We'll call it the Lance Armstrong.
One nut, two nut, blue nut, two nut. Yeah, for sure. The Lance Armstrong. No, I don't think we're going to that. Another thing we're trying to go to in the league is, I guess Ari has some kind of analogy for high points and low points. Does anybody remember what happened?
There's some kind of thing you beat a child with.
It's like the rutabaga and
It's a thing and a stick and a carrot.
Switch.
A switch and a stick and
Switch.
some kind of root vegetable.
yeah.
horse analogy.
One describing the high point total, one describing the low.
High point total. Would
I
you?
mean, it seems easier just to go. He was the
high points and he was the low points. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to stick. We're a little confused by it.
One of them is the stick. That's
One
funny
of them
that you
is
said
the
that.
stick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the stick this week?
You were.
Or was that the carrot?
No, you're the stick.
No,
you
you
get
took
beat.
the stick.
Did I take the stick?
No
one knows how
orally,
it works.
anally, whatever way, Tom.
Absolutely.
I don't think you want to be either in this scenario.
No.
Discussion always comes up at this time when we do some power rankings. Who do you think the best teams are moving forward? I think we obviously think that Steve Faulkner might be the class of the league. It looks like. Who else do you like to be?
Whoa.
Yeah, I would say just pump the brakes, pump the little brakes, a little bit on that downgrade, mountain hill grade, if you know what I mean. That's week one, and I'll give it to him. He had a great week, but I'm gonna say I still think the class of the league here is probably gonna be Tom Farrell, in my opinion, followed right there by Joel and Steve Faulkner. But I'm still looking at a lot of talent, in my opinion, on Who's Your Daddy. I'm still going to take them as the top. And then there's 1A. I'm sorry, whatever. You're not.
Billy, is that your top end, or do you have anybody out of that?
I pretty much concur with how that goes. Like I don't think the scoreboard isn't really going to lie right now. As far
These guys don't have the defending champion Fury in there. Tommy, what do you think about the best teams right now?
Well, first of all, I want to get it on the record that I wasn't disparaging Steve or his team in any way.
First of all, let's get this on the record. This is the goddamn Logjam, and this is where you despair, and this is where that content is welcome. So feel free, my friend.
Billy, do you want to look up disparaging?
Yeah, thank you.
No, I think he's got a great team, and he's a fine bass player, and he is.
Billy's great.
And
next week we should do like live
I don't
at
think
Steve's
I think
game.
to call him the class of the league is a little premature. I think he had a great draft. He's made some great decisions, and everything is shown in week one to support that.
Do you still think you're better than him?
I'm very confident in my team. I'm very confident.
Anything you say before the word "but"?
Any of you suckholes want to come off and knock me off of here, be my guest.
Off of here. Last week's.
Wow.
That's 181 point
Fourth
week.
I think if anybody's saying from here, it's Faulkner right now, looking down at you, right? 9 points total department with a 1-0
Well,
record.
thankfully, I didn't play him in week one, but we'll see. It's not a sprint. It's a
That's
marathon.
true.
It's true. 7, baby.
We talked a little bit off camera about it, another metric of measuring these teams, and we talked about Zeke signing that contract. Whose team do you think is the most valuable as far as salary cap?
I mean, which team has which franchise?
Which League of Gentlemen franchise do you think has the most salary
in actual dollars?
in actual dollars?
Wow, that's interesting. I don't think we can figure it out here in this segment, but to look at each individual team and say, hey, this guy's got a lot of rookies that he was building for. This guy's got a lot of veterans. This guy made some great You know, I mean, I imagine
We
Tom there with Saquon and some big kind of like
Has to be this
big
guy.
contracts with David Johnson.
Michael.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see if we can't get our stats and info department on that for next week. Maybe
All right.
maybe come up with who's what each team's salary is worth. That'd be kind of a cool thing to.
I think
to be able to
I think our
discuss.
stats and info department is REKs at AOL or something. Right?
Get at him. Slide into his DMs.
Maybe
Or is it
also
like,
we could just have a guess at who we think's franchise. It'd be a good topic for
Yeah,
the league.
put that up as a league poll.
That would be a good league.
Well, enough about last week. That gets us in looking forward to next week in the wait a minute. We ran out of Coors Light. It is the Budweiser Picks of the Week. Absolutely. Welcome into it.
Cheers.
We're going to be brought to, and we didn't get
Manila.
that big of a sponsor. We have some big of
It was more of a donation than a sponsor.
Last year's wins, Darren with 3 wins, Billy with 2, and the Coors Light, Budweiser bonus point. I came in last. I can't win in the league. I can't win in picks. I only have 2 picks. But let's see if we can't get Daddy involved in picks this week, and we'll get around.
I'm ready.
First up, the Hebrew Hammers and Young and Confused. Darren Adams, who you got?
Hebrew Hammers, Young and Confused. I think I got to go Young and Confused here. He put up a good week last week. Just ran into a better week, a much better week. But I'm gonna go Young and Confused here. Billy.
Young and confused all the way. Out of control.
Yeah, I'm going Young and Confused as well. Ari's team is poo.
Cat poo.
And it could get worse. Cat poo. Ari's cats. I can't disagree with you guys. I have to get on the Young bandwagon. That brings us to Sin Zoros. Billy Mack, who you got in Sin Zoros?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to take the Zoros. He's got half of my team from last year.
And half of my team from last
Yeah,
year.
I miss him. You miss him too.
I will.
So-
I will also
Yeah.
go with the Zoros.
I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm going Cardinal Sin. I think Mayfield comes back and has a better week after that shit show last week that he did. McCaffrey is the.
It's McCaffrey.
It's McCaffrey.
Guy screws up once a pod. Has to hear about it.
I think he's a top 3 scorer in this league, not counting quarterbacks. I'm going to go with the upset here. I like Cardinal Sin's pluck.
Did you write that down?
He's got moxie, that kid. He's got moxie.
I've got it written down. I do also have myself written down for the Zoros. I tried to pick Corey last week. I thought he had something. I do think Christian McCaffrey is a beast and will continue to be. That's breaking news. You heard it here first. But I think the Zoros are
And Lamar Miller is going to break out any moment.
Of his cast.
Just give him the damn ball.
All right, that brings us to the Benter's Fury and Who's Your Daddy, Tom Farrell's game, but we're going to go with Billy for the first pick.
Ooh, this is a fucking big knockout game, guys. Believe it or not, this could be another B-Max choice of Super Bowl future.
So that's 5 teams Billy has picked to play in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So
Scenarios wide.
really out there on a limb.
Just
gonna get
because
one.
he's in the Stilted Studios tonight, I'm going to go with our guest. Who's your daddy?
Daddy?
Oh, I'm picking myself, of course. Fuck.
Won't be the first
Not
time even
afraid
today.
of the log jam jinx.
Yes.
Nope.
Picking against
I
himself.
have 2 things to say. Fuck the Bucks, go blue.
And with that, I was kind of between the two here because I do think that Benner has done a very good job in the draft, not maybe at the end of it, but even in acquisition. He put it up last week, so I think I'm gonna pick Daddy and
Go blue!
All right, how do I pick against that? I picked against Bitter last week and he won. I'm going to go with Bitter this week
Oh.
and hope he loses, I guess. Daddy. Trying to help with that log jam jinx. All right, next game, my pick first. Titans versus OBJYN. I'm going to go
You have to
with
say that twice.
OBJYN.
OBJYNs, OBJYNs.
Oh.
He was in there twice. The guy who can't figure out his name screwed up his name again.
It's not plural, it's twice.
Well, who?
That's almost as many times as Antonio Brown raped that trainer.
Wow.
Who cares about who we picked? Darren, who you got?
I got the trainer. Oh no, sorry. I will.
I thought we were
take-
talking about the
Yeah,
lawsuit.
Yeah, no. I will take. Oh man, this is going to be a good game. I'm going to take OBJY double N's twice.
Billy Mack?
I agree. OBJYNs.
Not a lot of division up on the board.
Now that I think about it, it's actually plural and twice, the way he has it written.
Yeah.
Just
Is there a possessive
just for
in
the
there? Is it an
rec-
apostrophe?
Just for the record.
It's so nice
I'm going
you
to go
did it
with
plural and
Tawe.
did it twice.
I think Tawe has got some sleeper talent on that team, and he is the proverbial snake in the grass, and he's going to jump up and dick slap OBJYNs.
Well, let's not let Billy's picking against himself go unnoticed on the pod. But that brings us to the matchup on the board: Pimps versus Avengers. Billy Mack, who you got?
This is what we last year called kind of a logjam.
This is a logjam. Well, after
I
this
mean,
week, it will
we've
be a
widened,
logjam.
so it's become multiples. But
Unfortunately, the logjam right now is at the bottom of the Lesko division, so it's going to be a.
the poop jam.
This week I will take the Avengers from Avalon, unfortunately. I apologize.
Well, that's okay. I'll make it quick. I will also take the Avengers from Avalon.
That's what we
Daddy?
I also take the Avalon Avengers in this matchup.
I have
And-
learned my lesson. Chance I'm thinking about
Wait, can I add just one thing?
Yeah, let's.
Can I just add
sure.
one thing? Who cares? Okay, go ahead.
There's no.
Why we're doing picks?
You're good. It's bullshit. Go ahead.
It is bullshit, but if the jinx is a thing, I'm superstitious. I don't know about you guys. I am thinking
It's
it's
sweet. It's a sweet.
I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. For sure.
A little bit.
All right, guys. Fantastic show. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Modelo, Budweiser, Clasé Azul. We'd like to thank the Stilton Studios.
Yes.
Always.
Thanks for the hospitality.
Always.
And
Thanks to Kevin Cruz.
and thanks to Chief Pouway for hosting us.
Absolutely. Always, guys. Welcome, and good luck this week, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Good night, Canada.
Thank you for coming to week 1 of the Log Jam. We will see you next week.